G'day, Ben Futrell here from Australia, New Zealand, and welcome to this video. It's probably one of the most requested things I've been asked, and that is to teach you how to work less hours. So in this video, I'm going to give you my top 5 tips on how to reduce the amount of hours you work in your business. Now, this goes without saying that there are just some of you that have tied yourselves up so much in your business doing the day-to-day that it's not going to be that simple. It's going to take you a bit of time before you can reduce the amount of hours you work in your business. And look, there's a big need for it. If your business is built around you actually doing the work, that means that you have to be there to answer the phone and serve your customers and make all of that happen, then you're in a dangerous situation. Just imagine, touch wood, that something went wrong with your health and you couldn't be at work for a month, 2 months, 6 months. What would happen to your business? Would you have more than just a car park left at the end of that period of time? And this is the challenge that so many business people are faced with, is that they're working way too many hours and they don't know how to reduce their hours. Now I'm going to give you 5 very simple tips on how to reduce the amount of hours that you work in your business. And some of them are very, very simple and very easy to implement. So you should be able to start implementing some of these ideas straight away. Idea number 1, or tip number 1, is that you track your time. What that means is start tracking the time that you spend on each individual task that you do. And this is going to help you with my tip number 2. So it's very important that you do this. Now I call it a time finding sheet. And what you do is you set up a sheet where you have increments on that sheet of whatever time is going to be viable or probably suitable to what it is you do. So for example, for some of you, you want to track your time every 15 minutes. That is that every 15 minutes, you want to note down, okay, what was I doing at that particular time, and write it down. For some of you, that 15 minutes is too often, so you want to do it hourly. You might make a sheet up or buy a diary and just write in there at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, each hour what it was that you were doing. And it'll start to highlight to you exactly where it is that your time is going and what sort of tasks that you are personally doing that's taking up all of your time. Now, this leads me to tip number 2, delegate. Once you've got all of these tasks and you've worked out what it is that you're doing, I want you to go through every single task that you wrote down over a 2 or 3 week period and work out of all those tasks, what can you delegate? What is it that you can delegate from what it is that you were doing? Because I'm sure there are probably at least 20% of the tasks you're carrying out you can get someone else to do. Now I know, and we're going to talk about it in one of the tips about the fact that you feel like you're the only person that can do it. We'll get there at tip 5, so stick with me and I'm going to tell you how to get through that. Now, once you delegate those things that you don't need to be doing, you can get somebody else to do. And of course, there's also going to be stuff on the list that you shouldn't be doing. They're called distractions. We'll talk about that in a second as well. But before I get to that, it's important that you get yourself structured so you streamline your day and become more efficient. And this is tip number 3, is do a daily to-do list. I see too many people in business trying to remember everything they've got to do, and it's impossible. I'm a very task-oriented person, so for me it's easy. I write a to-do list, I work through that to-do list, and I cross off each item as I complete it during the day. I can sort of measure my progress. I get instant feedback from my to-do list as to how I'm travelling for the day. I know what's left to get done. I can prioritise a to-do list. To-do lists are fantastic tools and are underutilised by many, many people. Whether you own your own business or you're an employee, or even if you're just doing some housework, you could put it all on a to-do list and you'll be much more efficient. The other thing is, by putting a to-do list together, it's easier then to eliminate distractions, which is tip number 4, eliminate distractions. You see, it's easy to get distracted if you don't have something to focus on, if you don't have a to-do list that you're focusing on, and Facebook opens up with a message to you, or a friend rings up and says, hey, do you want to catch up for coffee or have a chat? It's easy for you to get distracted, whereas if you've got a to-do list you're looking at, so here's the 5 things I wanted to get done today, and you're only up to thing number 2, and a distraction enters your day, it's easy to push that distraction back out of your day because you know exactly what it is that you've got to do. So eliminate distractions, and this takes discipline, by the way. It takes a huge amount of discipline to eliminate these distractions. And this is where a lot of people get caught up. And I would guarantee that at least 20–25% of your time would be wasted with things that are distracting you. So think about doing things like turning your email notifications off. Put your mobile phone onto silent and just check it once an hour. Close Facebook down. Get rid of all these distractions that are in your day, and utilise time at your morning coffee or your afternoon tea break when you check those things, rather than having them notify you as soon as something happens, because those distractions are time thieves. They'll steal a lot of your times. Tip number 5, stop it. Stop it. Now you're probably wondering what that is. I'm talking about no one can do it as good as me-itis. It's a disease a lot of business people have. No one can do it as good as me-itis. You've probably heard of it before. You know what? At the end of the day, and you know how I know about this particular ailment is that I had it once, you know, and to some degree I still do have it with certain things, but by going through and mapping out every task that I do, I can then map what that task is in relation to skill and to fun for me. So, you know, you go back to that tip number 1 where I said go through and do your time finding sheet, go through each of the tasks that you do and rate them out of 5, from 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, what skill it takes and what fun it is for you to do. And anything with low numbers on both of those scales, you can delegate straight away. And the next thing is to look at the next set of tasks that you're holding on to because you don't think anyone can do it as good as you, and work out how you can train someone else to do it. Now, I know for a lot of you this is going to be difficult, and it was difficult for me, that's how I know. But the reality is that there are a lot of great people out there that can do the job better than you. Shock horror, sorry to shock you, but that is the truth. There's no other way to put it. There are people that can do it better than you. But even if that is not the truth, even if they can only do it at 80 or 90% as well as you can do it, it's still probably good enough to get the job done and to make your customer happy. So be okay with delegating and be okay with people making mistakes and not getting it done as well as you. So there you go. There's my top 5 tips on how to work less hours. Of course, you know, I probably could have 55 tips on how to do that. But it all starts with you having the mindset that that's what you want to achieve and having the discipline to put these things into place. Hopefully that's helped you reduce the hours you're working in your business. Of course, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, share it with all your friends. Until next time, have a profitable day.